Librarianship is an often overlooked career. Often libraries are labeled as quiet, stuck-up places of business that have little application in the modern world. However, librarianship is a job that has been and will continue to service communities for many years to come. So that begs the question, what does the job of librarian really look like, and could this career be a good fit for you? Librarians may have a very versatile career depending on what their position is at their specific library. Let's hear from some librarians around the country on their favorite part of the job.
I love helping people. That's the best part of my job, and every day it's a different thing, whether I'm connecting someone to a great book, helping them apply for a job, or reading books to kids. Every day I get to help people in different ways.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention about your job or working in libraries that you think would be important to mention?
I think libraries are a really interesting place to work. One thing I like about being in Ellis Library, and what I always liked about working at the reference desk, is I get to see students, and I get to hear their questions. I get to see what they're wearing. I get to, it's a whole experience, yeah. And I enjoy that part about what we do. And I think, again, people thought the internet was going to kill the library and the librarian, but it really hasn't.
Librarianship is a job dependent on good people skills, and it requires a high level of social interaction. So if you prefer to work alone, this may not be the right job for you. It's important to note that librarians do much more than just read during their day-to-day jobs. There are many misconceptions about what librarians and what libraries can offer to the community. Here's what some librarians have to say about that.
It's an area for experimentation. We have a lot of programs that involves making things. We have a lot of community space. It's not as quiet a space as some might think. There's a section for that, but there's a lot of activity I think people see today that they wouldn't normally expect by coming into a library.
I wish people knew that we have more than just books. We have other media, other forms of entertainment, programs, events. I think a lot of people don't know. They think, it's just a bunch of books, a bunch of research books, and I think a public library is a much more dynamic place than that, and that's what I wish people knew.
That it's so much more than books. A lot of people who come into our library are looking for something, and it's not necessarily a book. It's help with applying to a job. It is help with filling out a restraining order application, or they're about to be evicted, or they need to evict someone. And the resources that we have available for pretty much any stage of your life, from I'm trying to get my baby to sleep and he won't, to I'm trying to figure out retirement.
What people knew is that librarians spend a lot of time picking out books for all kinds of people, and we spend a lot of time thinking about different people, different interests, different backgrounds.
I wish people knew about the school library, that we do a lot of reading and we do a lot of book recommending, but we also teach lessons, and so we do a lot of teaching as well.
To be a librarian, you must have a high school diploma, complete a bachelor's degree in a relevant field, and have a master's degree in library sciences. Some librarian positions will also require you to have a teaching license.
Prior to being a librarian, what are some of the experiences that you had?
Well, I worked in a bookstore for 5 years during my college years, and I ended up getting a bachelor's in English literature because I love books and reading, and that kind of sparked my interest in librarianship. So I went and got my master's in library and information science with a focus in youth services because I love serving.
Overall, librarianship is a good choice for someone who is interested in helping people and providing a variety of services to their community. Someone who can be very organized and meticulous at curating information and creating a system to sort and organize that information would excel in a librarian position. The future of librarianship is bright, and communities will continue to rely on librarians for many years to come. Librarians make around $60,000 a year and have an average annual growth rate. However, as librarianship begins to change, we may see changes in growth and salary. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you consider librarianship as you think of a job in the future years to come, and I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.